Happy Thanksgiving weekend everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sooner Sports Wrap. I'm Barry Ogle. Today we are broadcasting from the Oklahoma Athletic Dining Room, where Josh Jarboe once rapped his way out of a football scholarship. Ironically, the Sooners could use a guy to catch the football right now. We are joined by Dr. Miles Knapp, who teaches psychology here at the university. Doc, what's your take on the Jarboe rap?
I find that often through gangster rap young people are trying to emulate through lyrics a lifestyle in which they aren't actually living. In other words, they are pretending to be someone they are not.
So your opinion is that Jarboe isn't really a gangster thug?
The young man clearly showed patterns of disturbing behavior before coming to Oklahoma, and his video produced evidence that those patterns could continue. However, I don't think that he would ever actually bust a cap on someone.
So how would you say that all of this relates to the football team?
I would say that they too are pretending to be someone that they're really not.
And what is that?
A football team, Bob. They're pretending to be a football team.
You mean that they are pretending to be a championship caliber football team?
No, I mean that they are pretending to be a football team, period. They use football equipment and wear football uniforms, but when it comes to actually playing the game, they are incapable of blocking, tackling, passing, catching, covering, and to some extent even coaching. All of which are essential to playing the game of football.
Don't you think that is a bit harsh?
No, not really. I would just point to last week's game against Texas Tech as the evidence to my conclusion.
But they seem to be a much different team when playing at home. What do you think their chances are of defending the nation's longest home winning streak against the Oklahoma State Cowboys tomorrow?
I find it interesting that the Sooners allow their surroundings to dictate the way that they play. They are much more comfortable at home, which results in a much better level of play. Anytime that they are away from Norman, they are out of their comfort zone and disaster strikes. This lets me know that we are talking about a team that is mentally weak. That means that they'll need to experience success early against the Cowboys to put them on the right track for a win, and if the game is close near the end, then you could be in trouble.
Speaking of mental blocks, Oklahoma State quarterback Zac Robinson took a huge hit against Texas Tech 2 weeks ago that kept him out of last week's Colorado game. If he's able to go against the Sooners, where do you think he'll be mentally?
If he's able to play, then he'll be looking to avoid the big hits from Sooner defenders like the Oklahoma State cheerleaders. Avoid staying under 300 pounds. It would be crucial for Oklahoma to knock him down as much as possible in order to stay in his head. Another thing to keep an eye on here is the mentality of the Cowboys. 4 years now we've been told that they're a team on the rise, and now they've risen to about as high as they can go. The problem is that no matter how talented they are, they habitually lose to Oklahoma and Texas. So much so that it is a part of their tradition. If things go bad early for O State, then we could be looking at another bedlam blowout. Mike Gundy didn't beat Oklahoma as a player, and he hasn't beaten them as a head coach. T. Boone Pickens may sign his paycheck, but he calls Oklahoma his daddy.
How do you feel about fans who are selling their tickets and not planning on attending this game because of Oklahoma's 5 losses?
The term we use to describe those type of fans in the medical world is bandwagon. Bandwagon fans are those people who only want to attend games when their team is winning. They'll tell you that they are die-hard fans come rain or shine, but when it actually does rain, metaphorically speaking, of the football season, they are too inconvenienced to show up, and some even commit the unpardonable sin of selling their tickets to O State fans. The real Sooner fans will be at the game tomorrow.
Any thoughts on the basketball team struggling in Alaska?
We aren't supposed to talk about basketball until football season is over. Besides that, we already have enough underachievers to talk about with the football team as it is.
All right then. Thanks for joining us, and until next week, Boomer Sooner.